So yeah, we're Holly and Adam, and we have 5 kids, and we have one child with ADHD, and then 2 with autism, and then one with autism that also has ADHD as well. So it's a lot of fun, and then they're just sweet boys. Our kids' ages are from 14 to 3. So they're all at home and busy, and
Yeah, we have as far as our YouTube channel goes, we 2 years ago now sold our house and moved into an RV with all of our kiddos, and we went to visit all the national parks in the nation, which was a lot of fun, a crazy adventure. And so we've been putting a lot of those videos up online and kind of sharing our journey. But it's funny, our YouTube channel didn't really take off until we started to focus more just on the autism aspect of our family. And then all of a sudden people started to really connect and share and watch and be more interested. And so we've actually been focusing on that quite a bit as of late with our videos that we put up. So we share a lot about what it's like to have autism from at least our perspective from our kids, and kind of in the family dynamic of things, and how we all work together to have joy, as much joy and happiness as we possibly can, despite some of the challenges that come as well. So that's kind of our our family story. We originally, what kind of started us on our journey was we one of our kids, he had Ezra. We thought that he had leukemia, cancer, for a while. And the doctors pretty much told us that he did and stuff. And so we were forced to kind of reflect on life and ask ourselves if we're happy with where we're at and what we're doing. And the answer was not really. And so we decided we wanted to spend more time on creating experiences with our kids and doing fun things together, and really, rather than focus on possessions or things like that, just really focus on experience and learning new things and experiencing new things and going new places. And so that's why we did what we did, and it was quite the adventure. So
yeah, and I think one of the reasons why we chose to visit national parks, well, one of the main reasons too, was because all of our kids love the outdoors and love hiking, especially Ezra, who is our nonverbal child. And he can communicate through an iPad a little bit. He's learning. You might hear him in the back right now. That's him. And he's able to communicate what he's feeling most of the time. If he's really upset or mad, he'll let us know. But we can always tell when he's really happy. He's just the happiest kid most of the time. He's laughing and just super fun and just always has a smile on his face. And he was especially that way when he was in the outdoors. When he was littler, he just wanted to always be outside in the backyard. He always wanted to be up on the hill. He wanted to be hiking and stuff. And so that's why the national parks really they were good places to take our kids, because they just loved those experiences. And we wanted to build those relationships with them in a place where they're most happy and places they really wanted to go. So yeah, we went to all the national parks in the US, and I'm okay if I never set foot in an RV again. Because that was hard.
What was your favorite part, or what was really good?
What was our favorite part?
Yeah,
Park.
Oh, park.
yeah.
My favorite park was Acadia, which is up in Maine. It's really pretty. We went there in the summer and just the ocean and the cliffs. It's just so gorgeous. But I also really liked Olympic National Park as well. That's up in Washington. So you've got both northern coasts. Those were my favorite.
Yeah, and then my favorite was Yosemite. I think I loved the El Capitan Mountain, just how just majestic it is, just that
So big, so
sheer
cute.
rock face, and then the kids, they all had their own favorites. Marie loved Channel Islands National Park. That's off the coast of California, and you actually ride a boat out to the island there, and they have all these little foxes that are just super cute.
Little orange foxes that follow you around. Like they're not shy at all.
And they're super cute. And Marie's favorite animal is a fox, and so that's why she got that one. And then Mark liked Glacier National Park.
Yeah,
That's his
Glacier's
favorite.
huge. You could spend so long in Glacier and still not see it all.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's kind of up in Montana on the Canadian border. It's gorgeous.
And then Benson was Zion's National Park.
He likes Zions National Park because he went on Angel's Landing hike, which is a really difficult and scary hike. And some of it, there's even chains connected to the rock face because you have to hold onto the chains to get up the rock. So it's not one that we could take the little kids on. I didn't even go. And so Adam just went with Benson, and Adam filmed it, and he just let Benson go, like, just run up, like, whatever. And I was editing the video, just dying. Like, you are so close to, like, falling 200 feet down. What were you thinking? Thankfully, he came home safe, though. Everything's fine. But he loved that. So Zion's is his favorite for sure because of that experience.
Yeah, that's a good episode too on the channel. That one's up now. You can see it's all done from Benson's perspective too.
Yeah, he does all the voiceover. He tells the story about going up on the mountain. And what did we name that one? It was something like should a kid
climb Angel's Landing?
Yeah,
something like that.
and the answer was kind of like, actually no, probably not. But it was okay for me because I'm crazy. That was pretty much the answer, I think. Sorry, I gave it away. You have to watch the movie though. Yeah, and then Ezra. I think Ezra's favorites were the caves, because every time we went in a cave, it got, it was darker and it was cooler, and I think he just loved it. I think he just loved the stillness of it. He liked how dark and cold it was. He would laugh like the whole time we were inside the cave, like just nonstop.
Yeah, super noisy.
Yep, and everyone just kind of looked back, and I was like, hey, he's happy. That's fine. Like, I'm not going to tell him to be quiet. He's happy. So, and then Simon, when we first started our journey, he was only 1 year old. So I don't know what his favorite was, but he did really like getting in water. We went swimming in the ocean a few times, and he loved that. So
yeah, we have an episode of what was that? That was a
Dry Tortugas,
where he threw his shoe. Or no, was that Ezra threw his shoe?
No,
they both did.
They both threw their shoes off the boat, and that was Biscayne. Biscayne National Park in Florida. Most of that national park is actually underwater, and they protect the reefs underwater. And so you kind of have to go on a boat and go snorkeling to really see it. But of course, Ezra and Simon couldn't go snorkeling, not yet anyway. And so I took them to an island, and there were way too many mosquitoes. You can see on the video the mosquitoes flying. There's so many mosquitoes. But yeah, we went on a boat ride to get to an island, and both of them threw off their sandals into the ocean. They thought it was the funniest thing. So we had to stop the boat, and the nice captain like had this big rod and just got each of their sandals, and it was embarrassing, but it's okay. We got them back so that they could have their sandals. But yeah, so we did a bunch of adventures and stuff, and now we're kind of taking a break from that, and it's nice to be home, to have, we're renting a house instead of living in an RV, and we're focusing more on just kind of our daily life with having 2 kids on the spectrum and how that is. It's been it's always fun to see your individual child make progress in their own way, and we want to celebrate that, especially with Ezra, where he is learning how to point at little pictures on his iPad that speak for him. So he'll find his iPad and he'll point at the picture of string cheese, and it'll say string cheese, and he'll just do it again and again and again, string cheese, because that's what he likes. That's his favorite thing. And I think that's so neat to be able to kind of give him a voice. He can have a voice, and he can say, there's this little picture of going outside, and he just says, go outside, go outside, go outside, go outside. Those are things that he likes and wants to do. So I think it's, finding that joy and stuff. It has to do with just celebrating those little moments. Thanks for those questions. That's great. As for when we traveled, I think one thing that really helped Ezra and Simon was because we were in an RV, they had the same home to go back to every night, no matter where we stayed. So I think it would have been harder if we would have stayed at
a hotel.
Oh, that would have been so hard. That would have been so hard. A different bed and a different place to eat every night, that would have been really difficult. Especially with the food, because you never know how someone's going to cook food. You never know what you're going to get when you order something. But I could go buy groceries and cook the same meal that I know that they like in the RV with the same dishes on the same plates, in the same environment in our RV every night. So I think that helped a lot.
Yeah.
They had their bed, and their beds were very specific to their needs so that they couldn't escape. Ezra is a little escape artist, and he will elope. And so we have to really make sure that he's safe at night, because when we're asleep, if he could, he'll get out, maybe even get out of the RV, and then we wouldn't see him for a long time, and we don't want that to happen. So yeah, just having the same bed that he's used to, that really helped. And then also, because it was COVID time, we didn't really mingle with a lot of other people necessarily. I mean, so it just depended on where we were, I guess. Some places were more crowded than others, but we stayed together with our family. And I know Simon really got used to always having his siblings with him. Wherever we went, he always had the same people with him all the time. I think that definitely helped, because when we came back and the kids went to school, Simon and I went to the zoo, and when we got out of the car, he saw the zoo, he saw me, and he looked around. No one else was around other than just me and him, and then some strangers that he didn't know at the zoo. He had a really hard time and he wouldn't stop crying for a long time. And at first I didn't know why he was so sad. I'm like, we're at the zoo, that's fun, and I'm right here, I'm your mom. But I think it was because he didn't know where all of his siblings were. He'd been used to, for 2 years, he'd been used to always having his siblings with him wherever they went. So now he was at a new place and he didn't have his friends, and that was hard for him. So I think those things helped the new experiences.
Yeah, Simon, every time we'd come back to because usually in the daytime we were always out doing things, out adventuring in the national parks and stuff. But in the evening when we'd get back to the RV, it was so fun to see him just light up and be super excited to see the RV again, and run to the RV and start opening the door. and so it was cool to see that, that familiarity with having that constant place that we lived. So that was fun. And then your second question about being the parent of an autistic child. It's been a big learning curve for us for sure. Especially we started with Ezra, right? And Ezra is very severe on the spectrum. And so Holly recognized much sooner than I did about something's very different with Ezra. And so as he just, didn't hit milestones and was struggling to learn how to walk and and obviously never talked yet. But it just presents a lot of, opportunities for growth is what I would say, right? We as a family have the opportunity to serve Ezra a lot more and, help him with a lot of the daily functions. It's not like we can say, hey, it's our bedtime, let's go to bed.
No, he needs help with every step.
Every step of the way.
Everything that happens to get to bed. We have to help him.
We have to help him and kind of make him into it.
I don't know if he ever would go to bed. I think he would just stay up all forever.
And run around and So he's Ezra's a 24/7 responsibility for us, and so that's a big task. And I think as far as being the parents of autistic children, we're very blessed in that we have 3 older kids who are very good and also help out a lot with Marie, Mark, and Benson, because if it were just Holly and I, that's 24/7 that one of us is with Ezra, and that can put a big strain on a family relationship. So I think having a larger family is definitely a blessing.
For us, having 5 kids is actually a huge blessing. Like, it would be way harder if we only had 2. Yeah. So, and I'm sure not every family is like that, but because everyone can help each other out, and they don't do it all the time, but they can. And so Marie can see when Simon is sad and maybe I'm cooking dinner and I can't help him in that moment, and he doesn't understand why I can't help him. Marie can go and help him. And even just today, I was making dinner, and Simon, who is our 3-year-old, who has more of your mild autism, he has no intellectual delay. He still has difficulty with his speech, but he's learning and he can say quite a few words. And he knows his alphabet, and so he's learning really fast. But he does have some anxiety, especially with new places and things that he doesn't understand, or when something's unfair, he has a very difficult time with that. So he came up to me while I was making dinner today, and Simon said, pee. And he never said that before to me. And I was like, oh no, what does that mean? Does that mean you want to go on the potty? But I couldn't take him on the potty because I was dealing with raw chicken, right? And so Marie just came in. I said, Marie, can you put Simon on the potty? Can you help him? And she said, of course. And she knew the routine. She knew that he got a Skittle if he sat in the potty, because we're starting to potty train him. And having that help is huge, because then his need isn't met in a loving way, and he hopefully doesn't feel like I'm brushing him off just because I have a different responsibility in the moment. But autism, because it is such a spectrum and it affects people so differently, it's I think the hard thing with being a parent is because you don't know what your child's gonna be like. You don't know what your child's gonna need. You don't know what your child's gonna want from you. Like, what kind of a parent do I need to be for my child? I don't know. We'll just take it one day at a time and find out, because we don't know the potential of our children. And so that's kind of what we do, is we just take it one day at a time. And our goal is to help our child get the most independence and autonomy in their life so that each of them can have the most say that they can. That they can decide the most decisions in their life that's possible for them. And when that's our goal, then it's better that way.
Yeah, so that it is very at times, especially with someone like Ezra, taxing, you know, as a parent. I would say it's not easy. There's I mean, we show on the YouTube channel a lot of the fun and the joy and the
more the positive
the
side.
positive side, right?
Because I feel the world needs to see more of that.
Yeah. And so we focus on that, but it isn't all fun. And
Sometimes it's super hard.
yeah, super hard.
And sometimes even heartbreaking to see how difficult things are for Ezra. And I'm like, this is unfair. Why is it so hard for him to learn how to speak, you know, to express himself? And so that's difficult to see that in your child. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's sad. You wanna fix it all for them, you know? You wanna fix the world so that they can live in it. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's I think that the biggest thing is just focusing on the little things that bring the joy to, and finding, you know, the little things to celebrate. You know, Ezra is learning, like he's I mean, at first, Ezra, especially growing up, like, I mean, people were just not people. They were just objects. And like, it was quite a point when he could actually realize that, you know, we could do things for him and that we could help him with certain things. And so you just have to learn to celebrate those little moments of connection that you get with him, that you realize that, I mean, sometimes he'll like kind of, because he doesn't like to make eye contact at all. And so he'll do more of like get up to you like this.
Yeah, he does what he does. He goes back to back, and then he's like, and then sometimes he'll grab your hand, you know, like this. Yeah. But he just goes like this so that he's kind of cuddling with you, but he doesn't have to look at you.
Yeah.
So I'll just lean on you like this. That's what he likes to do.
So you have special moments like that, and you get to celebrate those for sure.
Do y'all do any kind of therapies or anything that you found very helpful?
Great question. Yeah, so we've done everything that you can possibly imagine.
Not everything, but almost everything.
Yeah, so we tried
lots of things.
So, and on our channel, if you go, we have an autism playlist. And so you can actually kind of go through and pick and see, but we have Ezra's diagnosis and Simon's diagnosis on there. And then we kind of go through and show what we've done and to help them. So Ezra, we had him in ABA therapy, and there's a lot of negative. We have a movie on ABA therapy too. There's a lot of negative connotations with that, but the ABA that we do is more of a play-based ABA, where it's more of like interacting with them as they would want to play in their game, and helping them to find happiness, or to improve and progress a little bit through play. And what we do, it's also with the ABA therapy, like there's a lot of, like we said, like those negative things about it, but we as parents, Holly or I, have always been around to kind of oversee the therapy as well. And so we've had a few times where we've had to tell therapists to leave, or to
yeah, so we're really picky about what happens in our home, and so we always want to watch the therapist. And there have been times where very early on, where I saw a therapist do something and I said, nope, we don't do that. And he was holding Ezra's hands down so that he wouldn't flap his hands. And I went, no. And so I explained to the therapist, I said, stimming is the natural thing, and I want my child to feel safe and to be able to stim in a safe way. And he's at his home, he's not bothering anyone. And I always say that whenever a new therapist comes, or we talk to any kind of occupational therapist or speech therapist or ABA, that I always want my kids to feel like they can express themselves through stimming, and that that's perfectly fine, and that we shouldn't ever stop them from doing that, and unless they're hurting themselves, and then we find a different way for them to stim. And so I did a whole movie on, it's actually my favorite movie that I ever made on stimming, and it has 12 examples of autism and stimming, and I just share examples from our kids, but I also share examples of is it like the story or a metaphor of, hey, this might feel this way, like you might feel like you need to stim all the time, even if you're not autistic, like sometimes we need to stretch, and there's things that your body needs to do to regulate itself, and it's okay. And so that was one thing that happened with therapy. And I think as parents, you have to know what your child's experiencing with therapy and get their point of view, and not just say, oh, but this is what the doctors say, so we're doing it. I think that you really have to help your child have a voice so they can be heard, and ask them, hey, how is this therapy affecting you? Is it helping or is it not? And there's so many different ways to do therapy. Like Adam said, we'll concentrate on play. So when a therapist comes and helps Simon, they're helping Simon, just learn his ABCs and learn his colors and numbers and shapes, and learn, the animal sounds. And, it's like, what does a doggy say? He can say ruff, ruff, just things like that. Just very, your preschool things that you learn. And as they're teaching him, he'll pick the book out and sit down with them, and then they'll point at the pictures, and they'll use they'll use that play that he chose to teach them. And so that's what I like to see with the therapist, is I like to see the child deciding what to do, and then having the therapist use that action, use that play or that book or that toy, whatever they chose, to help them learn.
Yes, we've done, so ABA, they've both been doing lately right now they're both doing 6 hours a day of ABA, 2 3-hour sessions.
And everything's at home.
Yeah.
So they're at home in their house. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're monitoring everything. And Ezra's been doing that since he was like 3.
18 months
18
old.
months, yeah.
He was 18 months old when he started.
ABA. So we've tried also lots of different diets and different things. So Ezra's been through a lot with diets.
We put him through a lot, that poor kid.
And like we've seen like small improvements, but nothing like groundbreaking or revolutionary as far as the diets go. But they've always had a pretty strict, good diet anyways, because we are pretty strict and have a pretty good diet.
We try to, they've always got lots of fruits and vegetables and healthy diets, and and Holly's gluten-free, and half of them are gluten-free, and dairy on occasion. So like a lot of the things that as far as diet goes, it's not like they were contributing to I think the autism or anything, because they were already having a pretty good diet. But yeah, we tried GAPS diet at the most strict level, and
and lots of stuff, other things, vitamins and probiotics, and
Yeah, we even got this probiotic that was specifically made,
especially
for
made
Edra.
from poop or whatever.
Not made from poop. It was not made from poop. We would just take his little poop samples and put them in the mail, and then the scientists or their lab would see what he needed in his diet or whatever.
Yeah. And then
it was like enzymes just to help him digest things. The point was to help him feel better. And because he's nonverbal and he couldn't tell us, it was really difficult to know, okay, does your tummy feel better now or does it not? And he really couldn't tell us that. I mean, even now, I don't think he'd be able to tell us if something hurt, where it was. Like he wouldn't be able to communicate that yet. So
we just know if he's angry and mad, then something's probably wrong. Otherwise, he's a happy kid.
And he's usually very happy. He usually laughs and smiles all the time.
Yeah. So
and breaks things and destroys things.
Yeah. He's a little destroyer.
He likes anything that he could rip up, he will rip up.
Yeah.
Like even the books that are made out of cardboard, he will rip up that cardboard into tiny little pieces. And so you need to make sure that there's never a book in his bed at night because it'll be in little pieces by the morning. And just things like that. But he likes throwing things and ripping things up, and it's just so fun for him. So yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for having us, and feel free to check out the YouTube channel. And if you guys, we answer all of our comments, so you can say, hey, I was from the neurodiversity group, and this is my name, and I have this question or whatever, and we'll answer you. So that's a good way to keep in touch, and you guys can follow along the journey. We've got some great stuff coming out soon. Holly just released a video today, 12 signs of autism in a 4-year-old. And so what she's been doing with these videos is kind of going through and just watching our home videos, because we took a lot of home video, and just looking for all those signs of Ezra, and kind of what he was going through at the time, and things that we should recognize, or should have or could have recognized, or different traits or different things. And then we have still the whole East Coast that we've been to, as far as all the national parks, and we still haven't put those up yet. So we've got lots of video editing to do. But we've been posting a video, either a long form video or a short video, every day now for a long time.
A long time.
So
it's a long time.
Lots of content out there, and if you guys have also more questions, or you say, hey, I want a video on this, put it in the comments and we will probably do it. We've actually done many videos that people have
asked for,
recommended,
we want to share our unique normal of our family so that it can serve someone. And so if we're making videos that don't serve anyone, then that's, what's the point? So we would love to know, we'd love to hear your story. Just, even if you share what you feel comfortable sharing in the comments, and let us know if there's some video out there that isn't made yet that you would like to see, then let us know, because we're really interested in making content that serves people, that is helpful. So
let's try to make it funny, right?
We try to make it entertaining and fun. Yeah. With the whole family, it's not too hard. We're pretty crazy, so
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. We'll see ya.